Everyone, thank you so much for attending today's session. My name is Chris Detzel. We are going to be talking about WAF Gateway, formerly known as SecureSphere WAF, what's new and what's on the product roadmap. So we do have some upcoming webinars, a webinar coming up on July 8th. If you haven't RSVP'd for that, please do. And then July 16th and August 5th. So we have a great lineup over the next month. So certainly excited about that. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and let Eyal take it away.
So thank you, Chris. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the WAF Gateway Roadmap webinar. Thanks for taking the time to join today. My name is Eyal Gur. I'm WAF Gateway Product Manager at Imperva. And in today's webinar, I'll be talking about recent features we have just released in WAF Gateway, and also present our roadmap for the next 18 months. During the webinar, as Chris said, you can feel free to ask any question you have. If it's during the webinar, I may pause and answer the question then, or we also have time at the end. Chris didn't mention it, but we're not charging today for questions, so really feel free to ask any question you want.
All right.
Yeah, only today. So the agenda for today is to go over the list of wide range of features that some of them we just released and others we are planning to release in the next 18 months. I have a slide about each one. I'm going to explain about each one. And for some of them, I will also have a short demo to demonstrate the capabilities. First, and Chris also mentioned that at the beginning, we just rebranded the name of SecureSphere WAF to become WAF Gateway. If you install our latest version, version 14, you'll also see that in the product UI in the previously SecureSphere, now WAF Gateway product. You'll see WAF Gateway, and we did it for WAF. We also did it for the DAM product. They're both rebranded. So every time I say WAF Gateway, I'm not talking specifically about the gateway component, I'm talking about the product itself. So before we get started and go over the list of features, I wanted to share with you some insights about what we focus on when we build our roadmap. So first are, of course, the product enhancements. These are enhancements that are important for us to put into the product. They're based, of course, on what we hear from you, from our customers. Today, you'll see that we're focusing on reducing the total cost of ownership and improving the performance. So second, of course, we are a security company, and this is a security product. It's our bread and butter. So of course, we are investing heavily in adding features around security, and I will touch those in this presentation. Examples would be advanced ciphers and TLS 1.3 that many customers are talking about, additional auditing for compliance, and the ability to initiate advanced bot protection from WAF Gateway, which will soon be available. Last but not least, on our focus is the coverage and automation. So we would like to be able to support any platform out there and give DevOps the flexibility they need. So some examples would be additional API coverage that we're adding each version, and I will show you some examples about that. Our support coming for Google Cloud, already support AWS and Azure, and Google Cloud is going to be supporting in a few months. HTTP2, and last but not least is the ability to run WAF Gateway on Dockers, which we're looking to have next year, and I'm going to talk about that as well. So let's start. First, I want to talk about our new implementation method called Next Generation Reverse Proxy. So in version 14.1, which was released a couple of months ago, we have released our new reverse proxy engine. This is the next generation reverse proxy. This is in fact available from version 13.6 that we released a few months before. However, in version 13.6, you can still choose between KRP and the next generation reverse proxy, NGRP. But as of version 14.1, this is replacing KRP as the only reverse proxy engine. The idea behind it is that we moved from the kernel to the user space, which allows us to use OpenSSL, and that means that we can now support all the advanced ciphers with NGRP. I will share with you, just as an example, you see here, there is a list of a lot of ciphers. Just if I want to see just the ones that are supported in NGRP, these have been supported before, but from this column and down, you can see many advanced ciphers, around 70 advanced ciphers that are supported now with NGRP and were not supported before with KRP. So this is very important to our customers. We have many customers that are asking about advanced ciphers like SHA-384 and so, and this is now being supported with next generation reverse proxy. Next thing is the reputation intelligence. The ability to launch reputation intelligence from WAF Gateway. So in version 14.1, we added the option, sorry? In version 14.1, we added the option to initiate IP reputation from WAF Gateway. This means that you can take a suspicious IP. For example, you receive an alert on an IP, and I have a short demo that I will demonstrate that. And you can check in IP reputation and receive all Imperva's insight on it. IP reputation is part of attack analytics. If you're licensed to Flex Protect, you're already licensed to that. If you're licensed to WAF Gateway a la carte, then either you move to Flex Protect or you need to buy this as an add-on. By the way, a roadmap item for this would be to automate also some actions from attack analytics into WAF Gateway. So if you want to block an IP, you won't need to do that manually. You will be able even to do that from the screen that you see here.
A couple of questions for you. One, if you upgrade from version 13 to 14, do you have to switch models, or is KRP ported to NGRP?
If you upgrade from version 13.6 or 13 into version 14.1 and you were on KRP, you will be moved to NGRP. You'll see Gen 2, a sign next to that, and you will be on NGRP. You won't be able to use KRP anymore, and you'll get the ability to use all the advanced ciphers I was talking about.
Okay. A couple other questions. They're starting to pour in a little bit. Let me make sure. Yep. Is 14 available?
14.1 is available. It's available from 2 months ago.
Okay. And one other question for you. What about the performance degradation, specifically with SSL TLS with NGRP compared to KRP in version 14.1?
Okay, that's a great question. We do have some performance degradation moving from KRP to NGRP, and the reason is because we moved from kernel to the user space. It takes more CPU, but this is a user space CPU and not a kernel CPU. So basically, there shouldn't be issues. However, with specific two appliances, 6510 and 8510, there is some degradation. However, in version 14.2, that is coming out in a week or so, we have improved that performance. And with 8510, there is no issue anymore. So we can go on and upgrade, and you won't have any issues. And with 6510, we need to check, and you might need another machine if you have a very high throughput. We're also working to eliminate that issue, so in the future you can upgrade even with 6510 with no worries and no performance degradation. And other kind of appliances or VMs don't have any performance degradation. You can go on and upgrade. Again, comparing the CPU, you may have more CPU because it's user space, but you shouldn't get into any problems, and you'll have the same throughput that you had before, throughput limitation. Okay, so I want to just show a very short demo of the reputation intelligence. So I will initiate this demo. So here, for example, there is a custom policy linked to IP group, a global object, containing all the IPs that WAF Gateway would block. And we have received an alert about cmd.exe coming from an IP that wasn't blocked yet. And we want to check that IP. We copy this IP, and then we navigate, as you can see now, into IP reputation. This is the new option that we added in version 14.1. We paste the IP that we just copied here into IP lookup. And then we'll see all the information that Imperva has about this IP. In this example, we see this IP is coming from Brazil, and it is a very bad IP. There is a lot of bad traffic coming from it. So we go back to WAF Gateway. We add it to the IP group, and then from now on, that IP would be blocked. As I mentioned before, in the roadmap in the future, we're looking to also automate the process of blocking that IP, so you can just click from IP reputation, I want to block this, and it will be blocked in WAF Gateway. So this is just a short demo to show you what you can do with reputation intelligence from WAF Gateway.
That was excellent. One other question for you, Eyal. Can I access the WAF Gateway rules from Attack Analytics?
Today, you cannot do that. You can access them only from WAF Gateway, but all the kind of integration from Attack Analytics into WAF Gateway is something we're certainly looking at how to improve also in the future.
Thank you.
Okay, I will continue. As I mentioned before, we're adding additional API coverage every version. This is the ability to do different things with API instead of going to the MX UI and doing it from there. You can see some examples like get license information, schedule a report, do different actions on the report, copy policy, and more. By the way, if you have a requirement for an API that you don't have today, we encourage you to go into user voice. We're using now a system called user voice. You can enter the request there, and then we can consider it for future version and add that. You'll also have the visibility to look at other requests, so you'll know if this was already requested, this is on the roadmap, and so on. Okay, all I've mentioned until now was already released in version 14.1. This is a new feature, which is the management for large scale or large scale MX. This feature will be coming out at version 14.3. This is the plan at the end of the year, November this year. So we're planning to release this new capability for a single MX to support more than 200 gateways. Today, a single MX can support up to 15 gateways. With this new capability, it will be able to support 200 gateways. So this new capability is extremely important for customers moving to the cloud, for example, and then they have a lot of gateways in AWS and they want to manage them from a single place, or for customers that on-premise have a lot of MXs today managing a lot of gateways and they want to consolidate these MXs into a single MX. The way it's implemented is that we're offloading the events handling from the MX so that the MX can focus on configuration, administration, and health monitoring. So with this feature that we call large-scale MX, the alerts can be viewed in SIEM, and most of you are already working with SIEM today to work the alerts. And of course, you can also work with Attack Analytics that can receive all the alerts from WAF Gateway. And there is a lot of advantage of using Attack Analytics anyway, due to the fact that it's using all the analytics engines to narrow down the number of incidents, and then you don't have to go through a huge number of alerts. So the beta for this is already available now. NGA, as I said, is targeted at November this year. If there is anyone that is interested to participate in the beta process, we do have a beta process, and you can contact me and we can make sure that you participate. I have it's not even a demo, it's a very short demonstration just to show you a recording I took of a large scale MX. So you can see here a demonstration of large scale MX managing 20 server groups, and each one you have 10 gateways, so it's 200 gateways, just as an example. Next one is Advanced Bridge. So in version 14.3, again, November this year, we're going to be releasing Advanced Bridge. The Advanced Bridge is basically the next generation of TRP, same as NGRP is the next generation of KRP. Advanced Bridge will replace eventually TRP. Still in version 14.3, both would exist, TRP and Advanced Bridge. But like NGRP, it works in the user space, meaning that if you want to support all the advanced ciphers I was mentioning before, the same advanced ciphers that you saw on the list, and you're using TRP today, you can move to Advanced Bridge. Customers that want to move from TRP to Advanced Bridge don't need to go through any migration, it's transparent. And customers that would like to move from Bridge to Advanced Bridge will have a migration tool that will be released after the version to assist them to move from Bridge to Advanced Bridge.
Eyal,
yeah.
Quick question for you. If using 14.3, do you have to use large-scale MX, or can you still use the traditional MX for those without a SIM?
Of course, you can still use the traditional MX. The large-scale MX is aimed to customers that wants to use it, that have a huge number of gateways in the cloud or on-premise, regardless if the gateways are running on VMs or appliances, it supports all of them. And you will need to specify that you want to move from a regular MX to a large scale. This is not an automatic process. So the process of moving, you'll have a checkbox and you will have to say, I want to move to large scale MX. And that MX, if it's an existing one, will be converted to a large scale. If it's a new one, it will be a new large scale MX. In version 14.3, we won't have the automatic conversion of all the policies to consolidate the different MXs into one, but in the future, we're planning also to help with that and supply you with a migration to your policies so you can consolidate the MXs into a single one much easier. So it's not an automatic process. The regular MX, of course, will still exist. It's only for customers that would like to, that have these huge environments and would like to have such an MX to support all these gateways. Okay.
Great, thank you. Perfect.
Next one, again, coming out at version 14.3 November this year, is our ability to run on Google Cloud. We already have few betas in process running now. I'm talking about the ability to run MX and Gateway on Google Cloud. And if you're interested and if you have already an environment on Google or even just testing it and you would like to test WAF Gateway on Google, you can start a beta process, and towards the end of the year, you can go live with that. AWS and Azure already supported, and this, of course, completes our ability to support all the dominating cloud providers. Next one is the WAF Gateway Health Monitoring. By the way, this feature is already available now. So the health monitoring is a tool that collects many WAF Gateway performance counters, both from the gateway as well as the MX, and can output that to either Grafana dashboard, and you can see a screenshot here as an example, and the Grafana dashboard is an open source, or if you're using New Relic, it can import the information into New Relic by using a JSON file, and the same, it can import it to SIM. So I'm gonna do a short demo now for both options. One would be a demo to show how you export information, use the health monitoring with Grafana dashboard, and then I will show a demo of using New Relic. So I'll just activate the demo. So before we start the demo, I just want to give the scenario in which we build this demo for. So in this demo, we've taken an example of a WAF Gateway environment running on AWS. We created an example in which clients cannot connect to a server in a specific time frame, and they're receiving timeouts, and then we show how you investigate that using this health monitoring performance dashboard. So we're going to start by looking at the application traffic over time. And we can see here the application traffic over time. We see the application traffic gets to a threshold limit for that appliance type and doesn't pass it. And then we want to view the CPU to understand if there is a CPU issue. And we choose the last hour when the problem happened. And we see that CPU has some spikes, but it doesn't pass the 40%. So we understand CPU is not the problem here. We can also see individual CPU data if you want, if we have multiple CPUs. Then from here, we choose another dashboard, which is the network dashboard. And we're going to see gateway network related data. We see that there are socket bind failures along with high connections per second, CPS. Also looking at sockets in use, we see that there seem to be high. And all this implies that there are too many connections in that gateway, and therefore the solution in this case would be to scale out, meaning add another gateway. So if this is AWS example, then the solution would be to scale a group policy in AWS, and that will solve this issue. Okay, so this is the demo of using the Grafana dashboard. And now I will show a demo of how this is presented in New Relic. In New Relic, it's not a use case, it's just an example. I want to see this is when you export the information into New Relic using a JSON file, and you go, you get a dashboard, and you get all this information in the dashboard per gateway. You can navigate between the gateways, and then you can see the throughput, hits per second, connection per second. All the information I just shown in Grafana dashboard is also available in New Relic. So if you're used to using New Relic, it's a very easy integration. You can choose different time frames, and you can view the information.
So well, you can pause that real quick, or if I get a couple questions.
Yeah.
Related to performance, how do you gather the info? So some kind of agent you need to run somewhere that queries data via SNMP? So
that's a good question. So I did leave the link here, and I can send the link to you later. This is the GitHub place where this performance monitoring tool or health monitoring resides. Today it's in GitHub. In the future, we'll maybe add it into easier installation. There are instructions there how to install, but basically answering the question you just asked, this is a cron job that is running, and every X amount of time collects data. You can choose the frequency of that, and it sends that information either to Grafana using InfluxDB or to New Relic or SIM.
Great. Now, will this work for DAM gateways?
This will work for DAM gateways. In fact, it will. The latest version of this will also support agent information in DAM. I'm not that expert on DAM, as I'm more focused as a product manager on WAF. So I don't have a demo here for DAM, but it will work on DAM for as well.
Yeah, it sounds like another webinar that I need to work on.
Yeah.
Well, will this work only in 14 dot versions?
No, it can work also on version 13.
Okay, great. And then is there a plan to incorporate Grafana into MX?
Currently, there is no plan to incorporate that, but we have to look how we integrate it or how we make the installation easier. I don't yet know if it will be eventually in MX or outside MX. Today in MX, you do have a performance dashboard that shows information. It's a bit different. Here you have more information. So currently there are no plans to incorporate it into the MX itself. Okay, but again, I'm emphasizing that this will work for DAM and will also supply performance information on the agents in DAM. So moving on, we did the demo. This is regarding the advanced prod protection. As you know, a while back we integrated with a company called Distill. We acquired a company called Distill, and we're now working on integrating their technology also into WAF Gateway. So the plan is that in early 2021, we'll have WAF Gateway integrated with advanced bot protection. And in this integration, we plan to have the ability to launch advanced bot protection configuration from WAF Gateway. So all the configuration, all the bot configuration will be done in advanced bot configuration, and WAF Gateway will receive that configuration and use it. Then the plan is to have a new policy in WAF Gateway that will be used specifically for this purpose of advanced bot protection, and it will consist, same as any other policy, with the ability to have alerts on that and followed actions, and all the logging will also be integrated back into the advanced bot protection. So the advanced bot protection integration is planned to be supported in the new user space implementation modes I was just talking about. So the NGRP and the advanced bridge, because the way we implement it is through the user space, it will support the new implementation methods. So these are just some screenshots from the advanced bot protection UI. If you'd like more information on that, you can contact me and I will be happy to send you more information. So all of these are planned to come this year or beginning of next year. What else are we planning? So I mentioned HTTP2. We get from customers the need to support HTTP2. There were some years in which many customers were talking about it, but no one was didn't have really traffic on HTTP2. Now we see it more, and we plan to support it in Q2 2021. That's the plan. TLS 1.3, of course, many customers are asking for that. It's been there for a while, and we're planning to support it also in Q2 2021. Another two items that we're working on towards the end of 2021. One is very interesting. It's the policy tuning. If I mentioned before our performance monitoring and health dashboard, policy tuning is another component in which today customers can have different policies that are taking a lot of CPU and causing performance issues, specific policies, and they want to understand which policies are taking that. So we are planning on adding the ability to understand which policies are taking a lot of CPUs. An example would be a policy that is using a lot of signatures, and then as a customer you can decide, okay, I understand this is a very heavy policy, it has some performance impact, I don't want to run it on all the traffic, I want to narrow down the traffic that it's running on, and so on. And this is planned for the end of 2021 as part of WAF Gateway health monitoring. And last but not least is the WAF Gateway on Dockers, the ability to take MX and a gateway and run it in a Docker to support cloud native environments, to support environments that are not supported today, for example, Ali Cloud and such, and give you the ability to choose any machine you would like to run WAF Gateway on, and so on. This is the plan for the end of 2021. So this concludes the roadmap presentation. And if there are more questions, I would be happy to answer them now.
So there is one question, and I would just encourage folks to kind of think about, putting their questions now in the chat. But will COVID have any impact on this new version releases and timelines?
That's a good question. So except of the fact that we are mostly working from home and I'm doing this presentation from home, we're still on track. Everyone is still working. Everything is working fine. So currently we don't expect any delays due to COVID-19. It's not really, we can't really expect what to expect with COVID, so we don't know. But as in the last 3-4 months, nothing has changed and everything is working well.
Yeah, and most of these folks are pretty much not traveling any, so maybe they just have more time to work on this stuff. I don't know if that's
yeah, but Chris, this is also a very good point. We have time to have Zoom meetings with you. So if following these roadmap presentations, you would like to get more information or you would like to participate in the beta, feel free to contact us. I would be happy to get one-on-one with you and to share more information of any of the roadmap items I've just shown.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, guys, I see all the feedback you're writing. I really thank you for the good feedback. And I will continue doing these webinars as we move on for new features and new functionality and everything interesting.
Eyal, certainly, thank you so much.